Jacob Elordi, the brooding Australian heartthrob who has captivated audiences with his magnetic presence in films like Euphoria, the Kissing Booth trilogy, and the recent Guillermo del Toro-directed Frankenstein, has always exuded an air of quiet intensity. At 28, he's navigated the treacherous waters of Hollywood with a maturity that belies his age, often choosing roles that delve into the complexities of youth, identity, and emotional turmoil. But in a rare moment of unguarded vulnerability, Elordi has opened up about his deepest personal aspiration, the profound desire to build a family and become a father. This confession, shared during an in-depth interview with the Wall Street Journal, reveals a side of the actor far removed from his on-screen personas, a man deeply rooted in nostalgia for his own upbringing and eager to replicate its joys for the next generation. Elordi's reflections on fatherhood stem from a place of profound gratitude for the stable, love-filled childhood he experienced in Brisbane, Australia. Growing up in a close-knit family, he credits his parents with instilling in him a sense of security and adventure that has fueled both his artistic pursuits and his personal resilience. "Very much so," he responded emphatically when asked about his wishes for children, his voice carrying the weight of earnest conviction. "My whole dream is to facilitate a childhood like the one that I had. It would just make me the happiest person in the world." These words aren't mere platitudes. They echo a man who has spent years in the unforgiving spotlight, where personal milestones are often dissected and distorted, yet remains anchored by the simple, profound happiness of family life. Central to Elordi's vision is his mother, Melissa, whom he describes with unbridled admiration as an angel and the greatest person I've ever met. In his eyes, she embodies the selfless devotion of motherhood, having self-appointed it as her life's purpose. Melissa's influence extended beyond nurturing. She was the one who recognized her son's flair for the dramatic and encouraged his early forays into theater. Elordi recalls how these experiences not only sparked his passion for acting but also built his self-assurance in a world quick to judge young performers. "Being in the theater made my mom proud," he shared in a previous conversation with GQ, highlighting how her encouragement was a cornerstone of his confidence. This maternal bond, he explains, taught him the value of emotional openness, a trait that shines through in his portrayals of conflicted characters like Nate Jacobs in Euphoria, where layers of rage mask deeper vulnerabilities. On the paternal side, Elordi's father stands as a figure of steadfast inspiration, a quieter-than-life presence who grounded the family with his unassuming wisdom and quiet strength. Described by Elordi as inspirational and a legend, his dad represented the rugged, disciplined ethos of Australian masculinity, channeling his energy into sports and outdoor pursuits. Rugby, in particular, became a rite of passage for young Jacob, forging not just physical toughness but an emotional connection with his father. "Playing rugby made my dad proud," Elordi reflected, underscoring how these shared moments of triumph and toil provided a blueprint for balance in his life. In a culture that often glorifies the extroverted alpha, Elordi's father modeled a subtler form of heroism: reliability without fanfare, guidance without dominance. This duality, his mother's emotive creativity paired with his father's stoic resolve, has shaped Elordi's worldview, making him yearn to pass on a similar harmonious legacy to his future children. Elordi's path to stardom wasn't a straight shot from Brisbane's sunny suburbs to Hollywood's glittering hills. It was paved with the very familial support he now seeks to emulate. At 16, he left home to pursue acting in Sydney, a move that could have severed ties but instead deepened them. His parents' pride in his dual passions, sports for dad, theater for mom, gave him a safety net of validation. "So if I could play to both sides of how I was raised, then how could I lose?" he mused in that GQ interview, acknowledging the strategic wisdom he possessed even as a teen. "And that sounds like a hindsight thing, but I knew it at the time." This insight reveals Elordi's precocious self-awareness, a trait that has served him well amid the industry's pitfalls. From the teen rom-com charm of The Kissing Booth to the gothic intensity of Priscilla, where he embodied Elvis Presley's turbulent charisma, Elordi's choices reflect a deliberate weaving of his heritage into his craft. Yet, beneath the accolades lies a man acutely aware of fame's isolating toll. Elordi's relationships have often played out under the paparazzi's lens, from his high-profile romance with Kaia Gerber, daughter of supermodel Cindy Crawford and entrepreneur Ran Gerber, to more recent whispers of a connection with influencer Olivia Jade Giannulli. These entanglements, while adding to his tabloid allure, have also highlighted his preference for privacy. In interviews, he speaks of love as a quiet anchor, much like the family unit he idolizes. His dream of fatherhood isn't about expanding his public persona but about creating a private sanctuary, a childhood like the one that I had, filled with barbecues on the Gold Coast, impromptu rugby scrimmages and late-night theater rehearsals that spill into heartfelt talks. This longing for legacy takes on added depth in the context of Elordi's cultural roots. As a second-generation Australian of Basque descent, he carries the immigrant grit of his forebears, who built a life down under through sheer determination. Fatherhood, for him, represents a continuation of that story, providing not just material stability but emotional richness. He envisions teaching his kids the thrill of a perfect tackle, the rush of a standing ovation, and the comfort of unconditional support. "It would just make me the happiest person in the world," he repeats, the phrase a mantra that underscores his grounded priorities amid a career that could easily consume him. Elordi's candor has resonated widely, striking a chord with fans who see in him a relatable everyman trapped in a star's body. Social media buzzed with admiration, with users sharing stories of their own family-inspired dreams. One commenter noted, "Jacob's got it all figured out, fame's temporary, family's forever." Another reflected, "In a world of fleeting hookups, this is refreshingly real." His words also sparked broader conversations about masculinity in Hollywood, challenging stereotypes of the aloof leading man. Elordi isn't chasing trophies or tabloid headlines. He's building toward a future measured in lullabies and legacy.